Hi everybody, it's been about half a year, 7 to 8 months since I've last uploaded, and in that time a lot has been going on. Some of it good, some of it bad. If you aren't aware, last winter I've been stuck in Swansea, Wales for 3 months, and not that long ago I came back home, and oh boy it felt weird being back home. I did feel a lot more lively being back home than it does in Swansea. I'm not gonna lie to you on that. But if things weren't getting better with where I am and where I've been, I wouldn't be making this video. I am not making this video in the hope that people will like me more, as after you've watched this video, I don't expect anybody to change their views on what they think about me. The point of this video is to give a better understanding of who I am as a person. And you either get it or you don't get it. And if you watch this entire video listening to everything that I say and you still don't understand me, then in that case, I don't know what to say about that. I'm probably not the person for you. And this video isn't really targeted towards anyone in particular. So I guess I would say that this video is for the people that I've met in person and not online. And this video isn't just for the people that are in my life at the present moment, but also for the people that I meet later on in life as well. I'm not saying that I am in the right of everything that I say in this video. I'm just expressing how I feel personally. And I am happy to answer questions if people have any. And I will mention this again at the end of the video, if people do have something to say after watching this video. So what I'm going to be talking about in this video, I wanted to talk a bit about myself, that I've been feeling for years, but have never really admitted it until now. And that is my insecurities. It's a shame because sometimes the only reason why I can't always get anything that I want in life, or my expectations aren't met, is because either the person that I'm dealing with is never always secure within him or herself, and I'm not secure enough to do anything to solve it myself. So, about my last videos that I've made a while back, talking about MGTOW, or men going their own way, I talked about why I decided to come back to that organisation, and made another video ranting about the MGTOW haters, by saying that they were really insecure and jealous, and that the men who identified as MGTOW have got something that the rest of the other guys want, but believe they can't have. And that was the main reason why the movement is being hated on, because a large percentage of guys have too much ego, greed, and insecurity, that they can't actually stand up for what they truly believe in. Unless it's just me who thinks that. Because if I was brutally honest, I feel the same way, but not towards other men, but towards women instead. So I'm going to admit that I am jealous and insecure over women. I don't hate women or dislike women, or even when making those 2 videos, I held nothing against women. And when making those 2 videos, I wasn't intending to push women down within those videos, but rather I was thinking of male empowerment against toxic masculinity was the aim that I was going for in those videos. I think I have said it in one of my first MGTOW videos that is still currently on my YouTube, on my channel, and I'll say it again. I do not condone wife beating or anything like that. Even if she's done something wrong, it still doesn't make it okay. I just want to make that clear that I don't support wife beating or beating up your wife at all. And if you want to extend it that further, I don't hate feminism either, or even disliking feminism. I just don't agree that they think women have less rights than men do. That's all. And you could say those are the differences between feminism and MGTOW, as in my opinion, the saying MGTOW is like feminism but for men is common sense. Because can you really consider men and women to be equal if women only have the voice in society and not men? I don't think so. You can respond by saying some bullshit like men have always had a voice in society because the majority of prime ministers and presidents were male. But then again, that's like saying women have always had a voice in society because of Margaret Thatcher or Queen Elizabeth or Queen Victoria. And I would expect the majority of feminists wouldn't like those leaders very much. The only difference is that most of the male leaders we've had throughout human history are basically just a male version of Margaret Thatcher, Queen Elizabeth, or Queen Victoria, but repeated way more. So I don't think feminists are making a very fair point about men's issues. So I think a lot of people are very ignorant when it comes to men going their own way. But then I guess that isn't our problem, it's their problem. Life wouldn't make sense if things aren't the way they are. It is what it is. So I'm getting ahead of myself about this, but why am I jealous of women? I'm not jealous of exactly the most popular or famous reason, like saying women are hoes and sluts and so on. That's not what makes me jealous. And that may be true for some women, it definitely isn't all women. Plus, men can be whores as well. So there's no such thing as being a whore and a slut is a woman only thing, because it isn't. I'm more jealous over how society favours women more than men and favours them just as much as ethnic minorities. That does make me jealous, because growing up as a man, no matter how much society told us that men have it better than women, I haven't really experienced a lot of that. The idea that men have a better advantage than women do when growing up. Another thing that women have that makes me jealous is that they can get away with more. What do I mean by that? Well, in terms of the social norm, women have a larger variety of what they can wear than men can. And female clothing is more revealing with your own body than male clothing is. So I do believe that if you dress more provocatively, that you are going to make yourself and others around you more hornier. And when I was a teenager, I used to get really caught up in this, because I know that that was what was causing me to fap a lot, because people, mainly women, were dressing really skimpy looking. So dealing with that whilst having society favouring women more than men, favouring it on the same level as ethnic minorities, made me not want to have anything to do with women at all. It made me want to save my virginity until I saved up enough money to go overseas, because I thought I would have a better chance of getting someone that was inside my comfort zone. And that probably wasn't exactly good for me, because not only was I running away from women, but at the same time I was running away from who I truly was inside. And it meant that I wouldn't even date an English woman, because the stereotypical English or American woman in my eyes was some radical feminist fundamentalist. So even English women were outside my comfort zone. And when I was 20, I would actually go as far as watching extremist videos of ISIS that had really graphic material of actual real chopped off heads lying on the streets, or people getting crucified. I've watched videos of people getting shot in the head. I used images of people getting tortured for real and made fun of it like it was some kind of meme as a way to cope with the stuff that was going on in our society, like the Black Lives Matter coup, or IRA wanting to break up the UK because England and English people are an abomination. And the reason why I've called Black Lives Matter a coup was because when I was a teenager, I was one of those people that listened to a lot of red pill content. So I used to listen to people like Milo Yiannopoulos, Ben Shapiro, and that was partly what gave me the views that I had at the time. I don't consider myself to be right-wing because there was something in the red pill community that was taken too far. There was an obsession of hate towards LGBT people, inflicting tradition that the majority of people didn't want to live under, and pressuring me to let go of something that was deep down in my heart, which was my feminine side. And back about what I was saying, that I didn't like women who dressed provocatively. The truth of that is I didn't have the confidence to dress provocatively myself until now, of course. And this happened when I was about 17, 18 years old, and I'm 21 now. So a lot has changed since then. And if you know me in person, that is why you see me wearing tank tops, leggings, wearing a lot of unisex clothing, and overall dress a bit differently to the average guy would. Another thing about me is that when I have a crush on somebody, I have a habit of not only liking them, but wanting to be like them as well. And I'll admit that can make me feel really insecure because of the social norm tells us that because we have a dick, that we can't do the same things that women can do. Or even dress similar because it's considered gay, as if being gay is a bad thing. And that's what makes me the most insecure in life. Because just because I want to be like certain types of girls that I like doesn't make me LGBT, as I know that I am straight. And I've been caught up in this for years, because if I'm not a very masculine guy, but being taught that femininity is bad for me, then what am I? Do I adopt stuff that belongs to a black culture instead, like getting dreadlocks? Do I become a really weird, funky character, making a YouTube series about that character and doing stuff that's completely random as a way to show that I was better off without femininity? And it's something that I've been trying to show off for years, that I was independent from femininity. And all it's done is made me even more exotic than the average gay guy is. So I probably would have been better off being gay, to be honest with you. And it's why every time I try and push someone down, which I very rarely do, and would genuinely advise against pushing anyone down in general, it's always a woman and never a guy. Because when it comes to me and other guys, I've already got most things that a guy has got. I understand men because I'm a man myself. But with women, they've got things that I would like to have but can't get because I'm a guy. And some of it may be a lack of understanding women. I'm pretty much saying that I don't understand women and I don't know what it's like to be a woman. And again, if you know me in person, however you feel towards me is a reflection on how I feel towards other people. So for an example, if a large percentage of women, I think I'm a very scary person, then that probably means I'm very much scared of women myself. And I admit there probably is some truth into that. I can be scared and afraid of women sometimes. Especially if she's either really hot and uses feminism to empower herself. I don't really have the guts to see if the average woman would like me. Another thing that I've always struggled to identify is which subculture of people that I belong to the most, as a way to give an easier, simplified name of who I am as a person, and that I can fit in more easily, as I don't really know what I would consider myself to be. Whether it's a Rasta, a hippie, a goth, a roadman, a nerd, a tramp, etc. And I still don't know what I am to this day. And it's not that I don't want to stand out and be unique, but I do think that belonging to a subculture is quite important because it gives the people that you meet a better understanding of who you are as a person. And when you don't know who you are, that can be a disadvantage for yourself, because it can make other people around you feel more insecure over you. People don't know whether you're a good or a bad person, so they don't have the guts to know if you're a good or bad, especially if you're a high-value person. And if someone ever has a crush on you, and you don't know who you are, the person that likes you isn't going to know what she wants. But I have found out that there's one subculture that I could have some deep connection with. Because if I'm not gay, bisexual or trans, but I'm more feminine than the average guy, then what am I? And the closest that I could find to what I was looking for is that I think you could consider me as a pretty boy. So what I'm trying to say is that I am coming out to you is that I am a pretty boy. Another term that I found for this is metrosexual. So I guess that could mean I'm metrosexual. But then again, I know some heterosexual guys who wash themselves more than I do. And I like shopping no more than any regular dude would. So there is metrosexual, but personally I think I would prefer the term pretty boy, because it's a lot more swag than metrosexual is. So yeah, there isn't really anything I can do to fix it, because it's in my DNA. It's something that I've been having well before I hit puberty as a child, but have never realised that I was a pretty boy until now. And despite me being a Brightonian, I don't think I can really consider myself to be a hippie or a Rasta, like I thought I did. And I know I have dreadlocks, but the problem with hippies is that they're actually very upper middle class. I didn't grow up in an upper middle class family. I actually come from a lower middle class background. So if you don't know what a pretty boy is, at some point, whenever you have free time in your hands, look up what a pretty boy is, and you'll have a better understanding of what it is. People have mistaken pretty boys as gay men, but they're not. They're two totally different things, even though gay men can be pretty boys as well. What does this say about myself as a person? I guess the one thing I've learnt about myself is that I don't have a very big ego. My ego is tiny. I don't view myself as superior to other people, and I don't believe society revolves around me. I do like to view people of different genders, race, and ethnicity as more human than different. And I think I'm very eco-friendly to be around. I know how to control my ego rather than my ego controlling me. Because if you embrace ego, then you reject equality for all. One thing that you didn't know about me is that I am actually borderline autistic, and has been approved by the counsellors that I am partial autistic. So I could probably be the only few people who think this. So if you disagree, don't take it personally or to heart. But masculinity is cancer, because it's probably the most anti-male cult you'll ever find organised by a bunch of self-hating men. And if you ever think about embracing masculinity, then that's disrespectful. Very much. Because the key thing about what makes masculinity so toxic is the ego. That's the one thing that I don't like about men, especially white men. Because me being a white man myself, white men have a really big fucking ego. And it's the need of wanting to feel superior to other creatures, and the need to feel superior to men, and the view that everything revolves around the straight white man, rather than the straight white man revolving around society. That's not a healthy way to live your life. Plus, there's nothing strong about pushing other people down in order to raise yourself up. And I'm not saying that it's all men, but unfortunately there is a large percentage of men out there who have that mindset, who have that ego. I just happen to be the lucky ones. And some men have it more than other men, but I guess the thing is that I can't fix 3.9 billion men out there. And if I want to be more equal to women, then there's nothing stopping me from going ahead and achieving that by myself. I do think that to an extent, straight white men, out of all the other groups of people out there, straight white men are probably doing the least right in life. If you ever wonder why there aren't any hate groups towards white men, white people, or straight people, it's because we're doing something wrong. And with me personally, throughout most of my life growing up and to the present day, I've experienced a lot of haters. And I do have quite a lot of haters even to this present day. But I've realised that that's a good thing, because then it shows that I'm doing a lot right as a person compared to a lot of people out there. Another thing that I don't like about white men is that they have no pride. Or even if they do, it sucks. And I do suppose that the red pill communities does do something to help solve that. However, I don't think those kinds of groups are really being honest enough towards the left-wing groups about it in order to listen and take what they say into consideration. So what has made me all of a sudden own up to my own failures? Well, I think since I started doing a lot of clubbing solo, I was never the same after that point. Basically, I discovered a way of doing a lot of clubbing and partying by myself and meeting new people. And because I was confident enough to enjoy doing that, and wow, it actually works really well. I did pull a lot of girls and guys as well in 1 month in the amount of time I had. And going out twice a week, most of the time. I even French kissed a bisexual man as a straight guy at one cocktail bar because the guy offered it to me, and I was like, yeah, sure, because I wanted to see what it was like. So that was funny. But yeah, I did have some very fun, memorable times getting drunk, pulling girls. It's certainly something that I will look back on if something ever goes wrong in life. And it's ended up changing me, and I've become more comfortable with who I am as a person. And it's changed me for who I am as a person. And I don't think I'll ever be the same after all of that happened. And that's pretty much everything that I have to say in this video. If you have any questions that you would like to ask, please let me know in the comments section. Or if you know me personally, you can DM me privately. There probably was some other things that I wanted to talk about and mention in this video, but didn't make it into the video because of either I can't remember exactly what it was I wanted to talk about, and the video would be getting too long as well. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. And until next time, see you later.